intervention rep for Sage/Stryker, and I'm gonna go over the heel protector, the seated positioning system, the air tap. I'll do this one last, and then I'll start with the heel protector just because that only takes 2 seconds. But has everyone seen this and is familiar with this? Mm-hmm. Okay. So as a reminder, this comes packaged inside out. That's by design. And so what that's for is that you can place the patient's calf on the long part, heel in the opening, and flip the boot over. So that way you can see that the heel's in the right spot. Wedge goes side to side. Most of the time it's going to be on the outside of the patient's leg. And you don't just have to flip it that first time. So every time that you take the boot off to recess the skin, it's designed to be flipped. Is that news to anybody?
Me.
You? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you know. Yeah, it's designed to be flipped inside out because that way you don't just kind of have to finesse the patient's foot down. And if you don't get the heel all the way in there, this is just a fancy, expensive pillow. So that ensures it. There you go. The air tap system is mainly what I'm here to talk to you all about today. This started off in the ICU like probably 2 years ago, and then COVID happened and we didn't get really spread it outside the ICU, but now it's kind of naturally, organically spread. So I'm here to educate you all on what this is for. I know you guys are aware of like the blue pumps and the mats, right? That's like the long, full-length white one. Same family, except where that one is more so meant for lateral transfers. This one's going to be meant for floating the patient's sacrum and offloading to prevent pressure injuries. There's also an aspect too where you're going to be able to turn your patients by yourself. So instead of going out to the hallway and like recruiting your friends to help you log roll and place a bunch of pillows, you're going to be able to walk in, use the pump, turn your patient, and be on your way. So we have 2 sizes. This is the standard size. As you unroll it, body pad comes rolled up in between. Josie and I are going to work on getting these all stocked in your supply rooms. So right now I think only the mat and then the SPS is in there. We're going to try to get you guys some more pumps, and then we'll make sure that these get stocked too. So you'll pay patient. Now these wedges, they're going to replace your pillows. So this bottom wedge with the tail, this is going to go underneath the patient's legs. So we want it like right behind the hamstrings. We don't want it under the butt or behind the knees. We want it mid-leg, equal with the outside of the limb. And then the top wedge is going to go like the top of the hip, the belt line, equal with the outside of the torso. So they go underneath the blue sheet and on top of the fitted sheet, but as a visual, they would be about here on your patient. So you can see like a hand width gap where that bony prominence of the tailbone will be floating. Now, in order to place this bottom wedge, I teach the Taco Superman method. So there's arrows, and black side up, there's 3 pillows. The Taco Superman method is how you're gonna get this tail part underneath the patient's legs. So you grab the second pillow, you make a taco over your hand, and then how Superman flies with one arm out is how you're gonna slide it. So these pumps, like I said, we're gonna try to get you guys more of them. For the air tap, there's 2 connection ports. It doesn't matter what side you hook into. This is just a hair scrunchie on steroids. There's no buttons or clips. Once it's in, it's in. Put the side rail out for this one. Yeah, exactly. And, are you ready? Yep. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn this on. I'm going to grab the taco. Superman. Support the outside of the leg. Top wedge. You go at the top of the hip. Outside torso. Turn it off. As it's deflating, I can start moving the head of the bed up. She's going to come down turned. All I have to do then is 2 things. I have to reach over, pull that slack out of the tail part. So what that does is help prevent migrating down the bed, so limiting shear and friction. And then what we're going to do here is roll this up right by your patient's hips and give a little micro turn, and you can see she's turned.
That is so nice.
Yeah. So super simple. I like to say you can do it by yourself, but if you guys have a protocol, it's like you have to have 2 people in the room. Obviously do that. You don't have to inflate it to remove the wedges, but that's how you would turn. And then some other cool tips and tricks with the air tap is, I think a boost is pretty self-explanatory, right? You can inflate it and boost. But you can also do a linen change. So you would inflate it, and you can do this with your mat too, the white one that you guys have. So if I was working with you, you'd go on that side, we'd inflate it, we'd undo the fitted sheet while it's inflated, drag the dirty linen out, take the new linen while it's still inflated, and drag the new linen under. So you don't have to log roll back and forth to change the sheets. With this one, if you do a lateral transfer, which is totally fine, just mind the patient's legs and their heads because they're not going to be on the inflated part. And then this, just like the mat, can stay underneath the patient for any kind of imaging. It won't leave an artifact. Good job, guys. You did great. Now, any questions on that? Okay. And we can take questions or talk about it at the end, but I just want to get to the SPS now. Has anybody seen this? Okay. So this is like a 3-in-1. So it's a pressure injury prevention, fall prevention, and Josie?
Mobility?
Mobility, yes. So it keeps you in the chair, and essentially when you take out the packaging, it looks like this, right? You don't have to do anything to increase it or deflate it. You're gonna take these tabs. The only thing that should go underneath this is a chair line. If you want a sheet on the chair, stop the sheet right here. Now what you do is you take these handles, you place them over the side. If there's one thing that you remember outside of the Taco Superman with the wedges, it's that this slack, this tongue has to be over the front. Because what that's going to allow you to do is get your patient's bottom right here. You use the straps, you slide them back, and then there's a one-way glide fabric on the bottom here that doesn't let your patient's bottom scoot forward. So do you want to be volunteering?
Sure.
So just put your bottom right at the front there. Just barely sit on the edge of the chair. Yep, now lean back. Now, you want to move your hair too, so
Sure.
all right, ready? 1, 2, 3. She slides up. Now if you try to scoot your bottom forward.
Can't.
Yep. So, and if you are strong enough, you probably don't need that system to begin with. So if you use this right, you shouldn't have to boost your patient the whole time they're in a chair, essentially. And then, thank you, you did great. When you stand up, all you got to do, or remember to do, is what? Perfect. Okay, cool. That's all I got for you guys.
That's awesome.
Questions on any of that? Thoughts? Comments?
That's not like considered a